It's a beautiful day. Welcome back. On this video, we are going to start this 1952 half-ton pickup truck. As a lot of you know, I've been working on this pickup truck for the last few months. I've been doing little things here and there, off and on. And today I'm gonna work with the ignition, and I can assure you, by the time this video is over, I will have it started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that there is connectivity on this cable. This goes to the ignition switch. So I'm gonna take out the battery, the negative battery cable. I'm gonna disconnect all that and test it. And then I'm gonna test the coil and check for spark. All right, this is the ignition switch, and this is the cable that goes to the starter. So we're gonna take that out temporarily. So we can test it. I already loosened it up. Let's take it off. Here it is. All right, guys, so we're gonna test this wire to make sure that it is good. So I have a multimeter here, and we're gonna set it to 200 ohms, the lowest ohm settings on this multimeter. And right now, it says infinity, okay? So if I were to take these two leads and put them together, I should get a 0.2 or 0.1. It'll get there. That's a 0.2, and it's about to go to 0.1. Or maybe not, it'll stay, there it goes. It just went there momentarily. There it is, 0.1, okay? So, I cut a piece of wire, a very long wire. I connected it inside the truck to the other side of this wire. So, this is what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna connect one lead to this one, and another lead to the wire coming from inside the vehicle, and we should get something other than infinity to show that there is a connection. And there it goes, guys. You see the numbers? Right now it's at 0.3. It may go to 0.2. That means that there is a connection. Okay? So this wire is good. I just wanted to do that so there is no doubt whatsoever that my connection here last month is good. Now that I'm satisfied, I'm gonna go ahead and connect the switch inside. And then we're gonna test the coil. So I'm gonna disconnect this wire from here. There we go. And I'm gonna put it back in place. All right, so I'm gonna put it through the other side and reinstall it. All my connections here are good. Okay. Where is it? There it is, right there. I forget if it's going down or up. There it is, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in to hold it in place and tighten it with a pair of pliers. That's tight enough right there. All right, so we're gonna take out the coil and test that as well. This one cable goes to the distributor, and the other one, the blue one, goes to the ignition. All right, guys, so we're gonna put this at ohms, 200 ohms, which is the lowest ohm settings on this multimeter. And I'm gonna test these two terminals right there. So I should get somewhere around 1.6 ohms. Let's see. Will I get that much? I'm gonna put it right there. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe I'll zoom in in software. So if I put it there, in there, let's do the side. There we go, that's better. I am getting a 1.6 right now. So far so good. Now for my next test, I'm gonna put it into kilo ohms. And then I'm gonna test it from one terminal to the middle right there. And it doesn't matter what terminal you use, either or is fine. And I should get somewhere upwards of 10. Here it goes. .71. That tells me that the coil will work, but that's a weak signal. I should be getting 10, 11, somewhere around there. Should I replace it? Not right now. I will eventually. Yeah, guys, if you get a 7 or 8, that tells me that you're gonna get a weak spark. But at least there should be something. So I'm gonna try and start it sometime today. And if I can't get it started, then I'll replace this coil. I'm also planning on replacing not the wires, but the distributor cap, the condenser, and the points, and eventually the spark plugs. The spark plugs are, I don't know, when did I replace these? I think I replaced them back around the year 2000. I don't know if I did it or if they came or if the truck came with them already. The plan was always to replace all these parts, including the spark plugs. But for now, I think they're going to be fine and I should be able to start it. If not, no big deal. We'll go to the local auto parts store and get new parts. All right, guys, so everything's back, including the battery. So I tightened some of these connections here, and we're gonna try one more time before we test for spark, just in case. Will it start? Maybe not this time, but you never know. Pump it once or twice. I'm gonna press on the foot switch, foot pedal. It's a no-go. Not now. Do we have gas going in? Yeah, we have gas going in. Yeah, we do have gas going in. So we know that the carburetor's not it. Fuel pump is working fine. It's an ignition problem. Could be the coil. I don't know. All right, so let's check for spark. I have this inline spark tester. So what I'm gonna do, I might go for this one right here. Put this on the spark plug, and for the other end, take your spark plug wire and insert it all the way in. If we have spark, you'll see a light there. I'm not gonna see it because I'm gonna go inside the vehicle and try to start it. Okay, did we get a spark? Don't know because I was inside. However, I set up my phone to look for that spark. Let's see. No spark, guys. I see no spark. None. Let me try a different one. Okay. Just in case. All right, guys, let's test the next one. All right, let me look at my footage and see if I got a spark. Let's see. You guys already know, but I don't. Nope. No spark. Check it out. Well, you guys already know. All right, so what's next? Well, I'm gonna have to replace the coil, distributor cap, points and condenser, maybe the wires, and might as well just replace some spark plugs. Everything. All right, guys, in order for you to take out the points on this type of vehicle, I had to take this little block. You see this little, like a rubber piece right there? I had to take it out. There were two screws holding the ignition wire or the coil or the wire. This wire going to the coil, okay? And once you take that out, then there's this screw, or yeah, the screw or bolt. You just push it in, and then you're able to take out the connection to the condenser and the points. Yeah, there's a connection to the points right there. You see that? Yeah, this is ancient, yeah. Now I'm gonna go ahead and unscrew that and unscrew this and that and take out the points. That's the points. I'm gonna clean out these numbers so I can read it better, because I have a feeling this distributor probably doesn't belong to this engine. As we know, this is a 1957 block attached in 1954-55 head. So, and this distributor looks probably even older than both the head and the block. Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna write down those serial numbers and look it up on the web, because I need to get the right type of parts for this. And there you go, guys. That is the serial number for this distributor. Probably look it up yourselves. 1112403-5807, or is that a 5B07? No, I think it's a 5B07. All right, guys, it's legit. This particular distributor does belong to this type of engine. The Delco Remy model 1112403, and the serial is 5B07. This particular distributor was built or made for these 235 inline six-cylinder engines between the years of 1955 and 1962. So yeah, this belongs to that engine. It comes with a sleeve. Huh. That's odd. Oh, it's a 12-volt coil. Check it out. Let me tell you, I sure hope that I know where all these parts go, because that's a lot. I hope I don't mess it up. All right, guys, look at the points. This is why I had no spark. The points are pretty bad. You see that? Yep. Muy malo. Not very good. Yeah, they kind of stick when I try to close them. Yep. Here's the culprit. And obviously the coil doesn't have all that much strength. 8.71 is a weak, very weak signal. All right, guys, so yesterday I went to a couple of auto parts stores in my area, and I could not find a single part. They told me that some of those parts, yes, they could find, but it would take about a week and a half for them to arrive. They would have to order them from the manufacturer. So I thought about it, and I decided not to go through my local auto parts stores. Yes, this engine is from 1957. Very old parts, very hard to find. And then I remembered classicparts.com, the same people that I ordered parts from before. And yeah, I came home, and guess what? I found all the parts that I needed within 10 minutes. right here on this website, classicparts.com. And this is what I ordered. Distributor, spark plug wires, 12-volt coil, spark plugs, distributor rotor, ignition points, and condenser. So yes, classicparts.com. And I ordered last night about 7 p.m. and I have a feeling all the parts are going to be here in the next 4 or 5 days, which is perfectly fine. So I'll be back when the parts come. I mean, for me, it'll be a few days, but for you, it's only gonna be a second. Why? Because we're gonna install them on this video, and we are definitely gonna get this vehicle, this 1952 truck, on the road on this video. Alright guys, welcome back. It's a few days later and we finally have the parts. But in addition to that, we also have the feeler gauge to set the points, some silicone grease for the cam lube, and magnetic tip screwdrivers. These are very important because when you're screwing the points in the condenser inside of the distributor, those are very tiny screws. So you need something with a magnetic tip. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend them. All right, so let's see what's inside the box. Oh, and by the way, today is the day we are gonna start this truck up. Obviously, unless something goes wrong, but what could possibly go wrong, right? All right, dear truck enthusiast, we would like to thank you for your order. All right, let's see. Exciting times. All right, what is this? Classicparts.com. Oh, a cup warmer. Maybe a beer holder or something. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, this is very important, by the way. I could probably put my beer in here. Or a cup of coffee. Yep, nice. Thanks, Classic Parts. Yeah, by the way, this is not sponsored. They don't know who I am. I just, bought parts from them because they have them always readily available. All right, what do we have here? Distributor cap. This has got to be the wires. There we go, wires. Okay, if I had to guess, this will be the coil. We got 6 spark plugs, AC Delco plugs. Okay, and what is this? Okay, this is a rotor, and one of these has to be the points, and the other looks identical. Well, let's open it up. condenser. So what's this one? This is a rotor. Okay, condenser, rotor. And that has to be the points. Yep, rotor, brand new rotor. And this is the points. Haha, voila. Oh yeah, these are good points. Look at that. Compare that to what I have currently that I took out from the truck. Yeah, the difference is night and day. Bum, bum, bum. AC Delco plugs. Haven't seen these types in a long time. But this is what the truck requires. Here's that coil, 12-volt coil. This has got to be the cap. And obviously wires. There you go, guys. Let's begin. By the way, if you're wondering, all of this cost me $131. Not too shabby, pretty good. But before I begin, I want to compare the spark plugs. Make sure that they have the same thread, the same length, and sure enough, these are the Autolite 86 and the AC Delco is the R45. R means resistor. So yep, everything else looks the same, including the cap. Everything else is identical, so we're good to go. And by the way, I'm gonna keep all of these parts for now, because you just never know. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the cables or the wires into the distributor cap. But I noticed that they came in 3 different sizes. You have two long, 2 medium, and 2 short. And then the cable that goes from the coil to the distributor came in 2 different styles. The straight boot and the angle boot. So I have 2. I like that. For this one, I'm gonna go with a straight boot. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, I installed this back in the year 2000, I believe it was. And these are 8mm high temperature XL wires. And the new ones are 7mm. They're a little bit thinner, but this is not a high performance engine. So this 7mm is perfect for what I'm doing here. Yeah, this is something you put on high performance engines and things like that. Back then, I thought they looked cool. They were cool, but yeah, these will be fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and label these as well and put them in the same sequence that I'm gonna take these off, or the same sequence that these go in. So that's number 2. This is number 1 and what have you. Yeah, number 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, etc. I know that 1 and 6 are going to be the longest because they are the farthest from the distributor. This distributor kind of goes in the middle of the engine. 1 and 6 is the farthest, and 3 and 4 are going to be the closest, so they are going to be the shorter. Yeah, today it's been it's a little chilly today. When I got up this morning, temperature was at 48 degrees. It was a little windy too, but it's going to be sunny for the next 10 days. Yeah, sunny every day. I haven't seen that kind of weather in a very long time. And it's gonna go to a high of 67 today, but starting tomorrow it's gonna go to 70, 72 or so for the next 10 days, so that's perfect. All right, what do we have here? Here we have number 2. All right, guys, and so it begins. I'm gonna take out all the spark plugs first. They're in good shape. I'm gonna save them anyway. And in goes a new one. It's a thing of beauty, guys. Okay, let's tighten them up a bit now. All right, now the condenser. I believe it goes right there. And I have the screw here, and this is where the magnetic tip on your screwdriver helps out a lot. See? Take your time with this, guys. You don't want to make any mistakes. Here it is. Screws in. It's not going to go anywhere. All right, now for the points. But before I put in the points, around this cam right there, I'm gonna put a little dab of dielectric silicone grease. I know a lot of people have different opinions about what you should use, but this is what I'm using. Now it's just a tiny bit, tiny bit, to lubricate the points as they open and close. So I'm just gonna make sure your fingers are clean, by the way. I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit, and I'm going to spread it right around here, around this cam right there. It's got to be a very thin coat. That way the points don't wear out as fast.
Yo man, you need to use a wheel bearing grease like lithium or clay based.
I don't know, man. Back in the 50s and 60s, we used Vaseline. We didn't have any of this silicone or clay base or lithium stuff, and it worked. Yeah, guys, you're gonna get 100 different opinions, and they do all work. However, if you want to go for a specific distributor point cam grease, Summit Racing sells one called Lubricam, and it goes for $10.99. Now, according to the instructions that I'm reading here now, it says Lubricam, it is a distributor points cam grease, and it'll last you forever. Now, this is also silicone based, just like this one. And I picked this one up at O'Reilly's for $4. And yes, if I'm just gonna use this for my distributor cam, this will last me for decades. Before I put in the points, I'm gonna go ahead and install this block here. And how does that go? This only goes one way, by the way. All right, the points now. There's already a screw there. That's gonna go, well, the middle part has to go in through that screw. And I have this little screw that's gonna go there, through here. And obviously this hole here, that right there has to go in through this shaft here. I'm gonna have to later adjust this. But for now, we are going to put this screw in there. We're not gonna tighten it all the way until I figure out how to adjust that or those points. And the condenser connection goes in through here too. The exact same place where the points go. Alright guys, so in order for me to set the points, I need one of those 6 pointy ends on that lobe right on top of this right here, or this little piece has to be on top of one of those 6 lobes, and then I can set the points. But how am I going to do that? I need to turn the engine over a little bit, and I'm going to do it by hand by turning this right here. So I'm going to turn this fan, which in turn is going to turn the crankshaft below it, and that's going to move slightly. And I can see it moving. So we're almost there. Yep, the points just opened. The points, or that plastic piece anyway, is resting on one of the lobes. And you see that the points are open right there. Now I have to go and figure out how much they must be open by. And I do have a feeler gauge to set them. I'll be back with you in just a second. All right guys, a couple of things. I forgot to mention that the gap on a spark plug for this particular truck should be a 0.035. And that's what this is, 0.035. And it should go in there snugly. and it is perfect. It was already set for me at the factory, and it is perfect, okay? And how to set the points. And I'm gonna read it from the Chevy manual that I have for this truck. And it says right here, the standard point setting is 0.018. However, when new points are installed, adjust the points to 0.022 as the rubbing block will wear down slightly while seating to the cam. But I'm gonna go with 0.021. You can certainly do 0.020, but I'm gonna do 0.021. Whichever one you do, it'll be okay, but just keep that in mind that the rubbing block over time will wear down slightly, but since I don't use this truck all that much, I'm not really too concerned about it. Okay, the book also says to put 1 or 2 drops on this felt inside right there where the cam is. And I've never done it, so I'm gonna do 3. This will be the first time that I ever lubricate the cam. I'm gonna put 3 drops in there in the middle. There we go, 3 drops. This screw right here, which you can't see from this camera angle, is loose. And I'm gonna set the points using this screw here. You can't see from that angle, so I'm gonna take a picture, that way you can see it better. There we go. So this one screw is gonna go loose, and once I set the points, then I'm gonna tighten this one that you cannot see right now. All right, so let's see. The feeler gauge has to be in there slightly snug. That's perfect right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten the other screw right above it and check my setting one more time. All right, that's tight. Let's see, is it set correctly? You know what? It didn't move. That is perfect. My points are set. New rotor. All right, for the rotor, it can only go one way. New coil. Okay, and now for the coil. The coil negative goes to this wire that goes to the distributor, and the positive goes to the blue one because it goes to the switch inside the vehicle. All right, so I'm gonna put negative facing towards the right, like so. And now I'm gonna tighten it up. Okay, now to connect the coil. Now make sure that all of your connections are clean. Yeah, this is decades and decades of dirt. Look at that, it's getting brighter. So I have 4/0 steel wool, and look at that. Oh, it's definitely working. Making it clean again. So, yeah. Now, I probably mentioned it before. Make sure that your distributor inside is nice and clean as well. Dirt is not your friend. This end goes on the negative side of the coil, and this side goes right here. Outside of the distributor, there's a nut and bolt there, and I'm gonna slide it in there like it was before. All right, now for the positive. It's gonna go on the other side. Let me clean this head as well. It's mighty dirty. All right, coil is hooked up. And now for the last part, yeah. Now, by the way, the firing order of this engine is 153624. So it fires like this, 153624. So the cable, or the cables and the cap are gonna go right there. There's this little, tab that goes in this tab here. I just had to find it. There we go. It's in place. Can only go one way. Let's install it. Make sure it's nice and tight. And it is. And now I'm ready to connect all the wires. So I know this is cylinder number 1. However, I disconnected the wires from that end. So this is 1 and 2. This is 1. This is 2. Where's 1? Here's 1. 1 goes in like so. That's 1. And this is 2. All right, so again, 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4, and the last piece right here. This one's gonna go into the coil. I think we're ready. This thing should fire up. Will it? There's a very good chance. By the way, guys, I am no mechanic. I'm just a regular guy, just like you. And I'm working on this truck, and I haven't started it in 20 years. And this was meant to be a retirement project, because when I was in the workforce, I just didn't have any time to work on this and another car that I had, a 1964 Impala. But if it starts today, yeah, it's gonna be a great day. Let's go see. 20 years, it's been 20 years. Will it start? Will it work? It's a thing of beauty after 20 years. But it turned off. It's gotta be a fuel thing. But I'm happy. It did turn on. All right, let's try it again. All right, let me close the choke off a little bit. I had the choke fully open. Yeah. All right, so I don't have to tell some of you that the float is stuck open. So I'm gonna tap it, see if I can loosen it up a little bit. It may work. Either way, I'm gonna have to take this off eventually and rebuild it, because it is leaking right there. And any leaks can be dangerous, especially gas. Will it loosen up? It's worth a shot. All right, let's try it again. Choke open, maybe halfway. Sounding a lot better now. A lot better. It's burning oil, gas, who knows? Might be a little bit of oil that dripped on the side of the block a couple of months ago. That's what you're looking at. But let me try it again. So right now I'm making a list of things that I need to do to this truck. Obviously I need to change the antifreeze, or dump the old antifreeze, add a new one in. I have to rebuild that carburetor. There's something wrong with the gaskets in the bottom. If I'm going to take out that carburetor, I might as well just get a carburetor kit or something and rebuild the whole thing. I'm also have to install gear lube, steering gear lube. And I want to fix the heater inside. It's leaking. And I'm gonna find little odds and ends and things that I need to fix on this truck. So that's coming in the future. And right now it's working. I'm happy, I'm super happy. It really made my day. Okay, so what's next? We're gonna take the truck on the road. And what I mean on the road, I'm just gonna drive it around in circles on my driveway. Why? Because I still have plates, historic plates from New Jersey. We moved up here 3 years ago and I haven't registered it in my state now, New York. So once I get it registered and insured and all that stuff, then we can take it on the road. But that's for a future video. Right now, I'm gonna put the air filter. It's a tiny air filter. I'm gonna put it in, close the hood, and take it for a spin. First time in 20 years. There we go, guys. It is a tiny one. So I want to get an air filter that's made for this particular truck. It's a little bit bigger, looks a little bit more classic than this. And yeah, it's gonna look nice. But for now, this will be okay. I love this light. So you can probably see it. There's a little bit of a gas leak right here. So I'm gonna have to take this out over the next couple of days and maybe get a rebuild kit, and obviously all new gaskets and maybe a few new parts, because I have a feeling that this float is sticking there. So yeah, there's gonna be more maintenance on this very, very soon. And all new hoses too, by the way. Yep, even though they look good, I'm gonna replace them. All right, are you guys ready? Release brake. First launch. Here it goes. Yeah. First launch. It's got good brakes. Oh yeah. Steers very smooth. We're gonna go in circles. Oh yeah. All right, baby steps, guys, baby steps. Going in circles, giving it a nice ride for a few minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. It's not overheating or anything, at least not according to the gauges, if they even work. My wife is up there looking from one of the windows. Oh, by the way, I cleaned the glass here so you can see out these windshield. It's a two-piece windshield. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm super happy. Yeah, this is progress. Like I said earlier, there's a bunch of little things that I have to do. I can hear the windows rattling on the doors. I had to do something about that too. Like I said earlier, 1952 Chevy, and we got a 2024 Chevy Silverado right there. New Chevy, old Chevy. It's running nice and smooth now, I noticed. Yeah. We got the vent right outside. We got nice air conditioning coming in. All right, let's see. Is that enough? That might be enough. All right, let's go in reverse. All right, first ride in 20 years. That makes me super happy, guys. All right, guys, I just parked it a minute ago and everything looks good. No leaks that I can see. Yeah. Other than that little bit of gas coming out of there, and that is dangerous. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a kit for this and replace whatever parts need to be replaced. And I noticed that when I put it in reverse and I let go of the clutch, the engine races a lot. So yeah, I need to adjust all of this here, make sure everything's up to par. Obviously this is a 72-year-old truck. There's always going to be something, but it felt really nice. So yes, guys, the truck did great. It felt solid out there, even though I only ran it for maybe 7, 8, 9 minutes. And yeah, everything was as it was back in the day. Yeah, the engine felt solid. The gear shifting feels solid as well. I want to do a lot of things to it in the future. Don't forget to come back. So you all have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. We'll see you mañana. Bye.